All right, guys, David here again. We're going to do a quick pre-series preview for the Red Sox versus White Sox series. Starts tonight at Fenway Park. Boston continues their homestand. It's a three-game set. First game tonight at 7:10. Second game tomorrow at 4:10. And third and final game of the series is at 11:35, actually, on Sunday, on Mother's Day, so bright and early. Chicago coming in 11-13 on the season. They're also under 500, but they are coming off a good series against the Cubs, who they swept in the Battle of Chicago. They had an off day yesterday. Now they're here in Fenway. And we'll just talk about the White Sox lineup for a second. They got a guy like Tim Anderson who can hit for power. He can hit for contact, steal some bases, hit for average. Luis Robert is a nice young, intriguing outfielder. Jose Abreu is a guy who can hit for power. That's probably who I was thinking of. Yasmani Grandal, a lot of the same, even though most of his days, or his better days, are probably behind him due to him getting older. A.J. Pollock's another guy who's a power threat. So the top six of the top six of this lineup, if you ask me, is pretty intimidating for the White Sox. We'll get to their pitchers now. So they have not yet announced who will pitch for them in the games 2 and 3 of this series, but the pitching matchup tonight for both sides will be Vince Velasquez on the mound for Chicago and Nathan Eovaldi on the bump for Boston. Velasquez so far this year is 1-2 with a 4.58 ERA. He's been bouncing in and out of starting and relief roles throughout his career, it seems like, but this year he's appeared in 4 games, and all 4 of them have been starts. His last start was on April 30th against the Angels. He got the win, pitching 5 2/3 innings, giving up 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and six strikeouts. If we want to go to Nathan Eovaldi, Eovaldi's 1-0 on the season with a 2.51 ERA. His last start against Baltimore was also on April 30th. He went 7 shutout innings, only giving up 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. But as we all remember from that unfortunate Baltimore series, Eovaldi's effort was wasted, and the Red Sox lost that game in extras. But if you were to ask me, the game tonight has a pitcher duel written all over it. These are 2 good pitchers who are riding high off good quality starts in their last outings, and I think they can do enough to stymie each other's offensive lineups. And I think it's all going to come down to the bullpen, so if you ask me, that's spells trouble for Boston. But if we can somehow squeak ahead and maybe get a run or 2 off Velasquez and Eovaldi can give us another good 7 innings, less reliance on the bullpen is a good thing. But even relying on the bullpen for just 1 inning is trouble now. But I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. We'll see how it goes. Second game of this set, to be determined for Chicago. They have not yet announced who will be pitching for them or starting for them tomorrow. Nick Pivetta on the bump for Boston. Pivetta is off to a rough start to 2022. He is 0-4 with a 7.84 ERA. In his last start, he only went 4 1/3 innings against Baltimore, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. We need to get something from him tomorrow. That's not the worst he's been this season, but that's not saying much. You don't really like to see a pitcher give up 3 earned runs, really anything over 2. You can get away with 3 earned runs sometimes, but any time a pitcher gives up over 2 earned runs, it's a spell for disaster. But I don't know. I can't speculate on who will be pitching for Chicago, but point is we need something out of Pivetta, but I really don't know if we're going to be getting that. So this could be another tough game for Boston. It all depends on what Pivetta we're going to get. So maybe he starts to turn a corner. Who knows? I can't speculate, but we absolutely need better pitching out of Pivetta. In the third and final game of this set, Michael Wacha will be pitching on Mother's Day at 11:35 a.m. He will be the starter. Wacha so far has been a pleasant surprise for the Boston pitching staff, one of the few reliable arms this year. He is 3-0 with a 1.38 ERA so far. Just 3 days ago, the first game of the LA series that I talked about in the post-series recap, he went 5 2/3 innings, only giving up 3 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Not the flashiest numbers by any means, but he's just providing depth and value at the back end of the rotation. Again, don't know who's pitching for Chicago, but somehow, some way, I didn't think I'd be saying this back in December when we signed him, but November when we signed him, but I feel really confident with Waka on the mound, and I don't see any reason for him to start trending in the wrong direction. Knock on wood. Hopefully I didn't just jinx him. But I think this is going to be a very winnable game for the Red Sox. I feel like they always seem to perform well, at least so far, with Waka on the mound. Hopefully that's the case. I mean, the X factor in this series is just going to be run support because you're putting up at least 2 starters and Eovaldi and Waka who can dominate for you. You have a starter in Pivetta who has showed promise in the past, and you hope you can finally see that for the first time this season tomorrow when he pitches. But can we support these guys when they pitch really well for us and put less and less pressure on the bullpen? That's just the true X factor. That's really been the X factor all season, if you think about it. But I don't know. Advantages, disadvantages. I think the lineups are pretty even, where top 6 are pretty heavy and people who can hit for contact and for power, but the bottom of the order for them kind of lacks. I think that's very similar. The 7, 8, 9 guys for Chicago and Boston, it seems like, need to produce more, so that could be another X factor. But point being, I think the lines are pretty even. The pitching, kind of incomplete. I can't really compare because, we only know one pitcher who's pitching for the White Sox so far this series versus we know all 3 who are going to be pitching this series for Boston. But if you ask me, I'm going to keep the optimism going. Yes, there's not too much optimism surrounding the Red Sox right now, who are at 10-16, but I'm saying the Red Sox will win this series and take 2 of 3. I think we're going to win tonight with Eovaldi on the bump. I think he's going to outduel Velasquez, and I believe that bullpen will do enough to get the job done, hypothetically, in the last couple of innings. I don't see the grass being greener for Pivetta in his start just yet. Nothing has convinced me that he can turn it around just yet, and I think the White Sox lineup has the potential to go to town against Pivetta, and maybe it could turn into a track meet where it's an offensive shootout, but I don't think the Red Sox can keep up because we don't have the pitching to keep up. We proved that so far this season. So I would think, in my hypothetical prediction, that Sunday's game will be the rubber match with Michael Waka on the bump, and I think we can win this game. I think Waka is just a serviceable pitcher. Like I said, again, knock on wood, I don't see him trending in the wrong direction anytime soon. And I think he can put together a quality start on Sunday. And I think the Red Sox can finally take a series for the first time in a few weeks. That's just got to be the goal for Boston. Sweeps, exclamations on... excuse me, I'm talking so fast, I apologize. The sweeps are exclamations on... are exclamation points, I can't talk. Just focus on winning the series. That's what Alex Cora preaches. That's what we talk about in our post-game shows, our post-series recaps, pre-series previews. Just focus on winning the series, and then just move on to the next one. Take 2 of 3, take 3 of 4, and then the Red Sox will be right back in the mix of things. A lot of trouble right now with the Sox, but the Red Sox, that is. But all it takes is one series to try and turn around, and the Red Sox will hopefully do that here. I'm predicting they will win 2 of 3. They will take Games 1 and Games 3. We will talk to you guys after the series wraps up. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, follow our Instagram at BSML.RedSox. Follow our Twitter. Brady runs that at BSML REDSOX. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good day. Take care and go Red Sox.